everybody, it's Miss Charity and
Miss Sana
at the Maud Marks Library. We're here to spotlight some of our favorite South Asian authors because it is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
Our first author in the spotlight is Miss Saadia Faruqi. Saadia Faruqi was born in Karachi, Pakistan, and now currently lives in Houston, Texas. This kind of hit home because my both parents are also from Karachi, Pakistan, and well, they came to Houston and here I am. Saadia Faruqi is known for her children work. She writes books for children. However, she did write for adults, but she enjoys writing for children more. She has her bachelor's in business administration and her master's in liberal arts with a concentration of sociology. Saadia Faruqi loves to travel, and she's also known as an interfaith activist, which means that she believes that all people, all religion are accepted. And she even writes about those in her books. Oh. So today we're going to talk about some of her books. You may know her from the Yasmin series. She writes a lot about, this is geared towards early readers. She writes a lot about adventure, friendship, just different kind of adventures that Yasmin, encounters and how she navigates through her experience. So if you are interested and you're an early reader, these series might be suitable for you. One of my favorite books from Saadia Faruqi is 1,000 Questions. This is geared towards middle schoolers, and it's about two girls visiting their homeland, Karachi, Pakistan, visiting relatives that they've never met before, and going through a lot of life changes. Now, both girls are, two different people, but they realize how similar they are, and, they navigate through their differences together, all about empowerment and friendship. Another book that she has also written with Laura Chauvin is A Place at the Table. Another book about friendship, and of course, one of my favorite topics, food. Saadia Faruqi and Laura Chauvin, they write the importance on empowerment, and they write the importance of how it's important to be honest and open, not just with yourself, but with others around you.
Speaking of food, another of our authors that we're going to talk about today is Vera Hernandez. Now let's talk about Vera Hernandez. She was born in Connecticut, but her mom is Jewish and her dad is Hindu from India. So she grew up kind of trying to figure out who she was. Is she Jewish? Is she Hindu? Blah blah blah. And some of her books are on that same theme. Her book
talks about biracial characters.
Oh yeah, The Whole Story of Half a Girl. Yes.
Saadia Faruqi also writes a lot about biracial characters because she is, after all, an interfaith activist. So they have something in common.
Yeah. And, I mentioned her mom is Jewish, but her husband is also Jewish. So Vera Hernandez, she actually says that her favorite foods are matzo ball soup and samosas.
Ooh, samosas? Those are my favorite, too.
Well, samosas are too spicy for me, so I'll just stick with the matzo ball soup. But speaking of food, she also writes books. She has a series with this character, Phoebe G. Green, who's a foodie. So if you're a foodie, you would like these books because it talks about different foods in each one. This one, we're going to talk about spaghetti. She's got one about French pastries and several. So if you like foodies, and also friendship. Foodies and friendship, kind of the themes of the Phoebe G. Green stories. Another thing about The Night Diary is that Vera got a Newbery Honor Award for this one. Okay, now let's talk about Krishnaswamy.
Our last author in the spotlight.
Yes, she was actually born in New Delhi, India, but she's moved around a lot. She's lived in Maryland, in New Mexico. Right now she lives in Canada, but teaches in Vermont. So she's been all over the place.
Wow.
And, speaking of traveling a lot, one of her books, The Grand Plan to Fix Everything, is about a girl who has to go to India with her mom, and instead of going to a nice place with lots of things to do, like a big city, she gets stuck in the middle of nowhere, basically, but her favorite Bollywood star, for some reason, shows up in this little town.
Oh, interesting.
Now, didn't Saadia have a book about a kid that has to go to Pakistan?
Yeah, actually Saadia Faruqi had a book, 1,000 Questions, that I mentioned earlier about two girls visiting Karachi, Pakistan, and having to, meet new relatives, see a different country, and kind of navigate their way through it. So they have, that's also a similar book to that.
Yeah, and so this girl in the book, A Grand Plan to Fix Everything, she has her adventures in India, but in the next book, she comes back to the United States, and this time the Bollywood star comes to her little town in America.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and then for some reason she has to find an elephant for her. You'll have to read the book to find out why.
There's an elephant, and now I'm hooked, and I'm going to read it.
Another one of Uma's books called Step Up to the Plate, Maria Singh. It has some similarities to Veera and Saadia's books because it's about a biracial character. At this time, Maria Singh, her mom is Mexican and her dad is Punjabi. So she's got that to deal with, and then also it's set during the war, so there's those issues. And this one also has some to do with social justice because the town decides to have a girls softball team, but Maria's dad says no. So she has to try and talk him into letting her play on the softball team. Now, another one of Uma's books, The Book Uncle. This one also has kind of social justice and community activism themes because in this one, the little girl named Yasmin, just like Saadia Faruqi's book about Yasmin. This is a different Yasmin, but so anyway, Yasmin has to help the guy. There's a guy that has like a little library on the street corner, and the town is saying you got to get rid of that, and so she goes to help him try and keep the little free library on the street corner going.
Wow, those are how libraries were back then as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for tuning in this week for our author spotlight. Come back next week, same time, same place,
for more Asian American Pacific Islander authors for our spotlight.
Don't forget to call the library to schedule an appointment to pick up your holds, crafts, book bundles, and we will get them all ready for you.
Yes. See you next time.
Bye.